How we doing, sports fans? Kelly O'Neill here, aka Sergeant Dog, and I'm smiling for a good reason. It's late. I mean, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but I need to get this out so everybody can see it. So Cedartown just completed a sweep of Northwest Whitfield. We don't think this has ever been done. Secondly, we don't think that Cedartown's ever swept Heritage before. So this is 3 series in a row in 7 Quad A that Cedartown has swept the series. 9-0 in 7 Quad A. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? So tonight, was a doubleheader at Tunnel Hill. And let me say, I really enjoyed calling that game up there. I like the way that the area was elevated where we were calling it. And it's just a beautiful field and just nestled in the woods. It's kind of off. If you don't know where the field is, you'll never find it. I can tell you that. Somebody will have to tell you how to get there because you will not find it. Unless you get lucky. But anyway, yeah, I had a good time calling that game with Andrew and both games. So Cedartown won the first game 11-2, and the box score was Cedartown had 11 hits and 11 runs, 1 error. Northwest Whitfield had 4 hits and 2 runs and made 2 errors. Reese had a very good day. He was 3 for 4, scored 2 runs, had an RBI. He walked. X was 2 for 3, had 3 RBIs, 2 walks, and a run. Dylan Cup was 2 for 4 with a run, a walk. Cole was 1 for 3 with a run. Chance White hit a gapper the first time he came up and drove in 2 runs. So he was 1 for 3 with a run scored and 2 RBIs. Ace Allen was 1 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 1 RBI. So, and the winning pitcher, I've been interested in reading this. Winning pitcher was Hensley. Let me tell you why. It's because X didn't pitch 5. You got to pitch 5 innings in order to get the win as a starter, which I'm not going to argue if that's fair or not, but that's just the way it is. So Matthew came in sort of long relief and got the win. So X pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. Both runs were earned, walked 2 and struck out 2. Matthew Hensley came in, pitched 3 innings. He did have some little issues with the control. He walked a few, but he struck out 3 and ended up getting the win. So good deal for Cedartown to win the first game. Let's look at the second game, and this one was a doozy for Cedartown. The box score reads, Cedartown had 16 runs on 14 hits. They did have 3 blunders in the field. Northwest Whitfield had 6 hits, 4 runs, and 1 error. Dylan Cup was 1 for 3. He scored twice, walked 1 time. Tony Ware was 1 for 3, 2 runs scored, and a walk. X was 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI. Reese lighting it up again. He was 3 for 3. He was 3 for 3, scored 4 runs, and had an RBI and walked 1 time. It's a great 2 games, great set for Reese. Eli bounced back from some woes in the first game to go 2 for 3. He had 4 RBIs and scored 1 run. Cole was 1 for 1, scored 3 times, had 2 RBIs, and had 3 base on balls. So great night for Cole. Denver was 1 for 4, had 2 big RBIs. Britt, I'm gonna show you Britt's in just a minute. Britt hit a bomb over the left field wall. I don't know. I'm guessing it's his first high school home run. I don't know, but everyone was very excited about that. It was a blast. It was a no doubter, and it was a 3-run shot. It just put it totally out of reach for Cedartown. So he was 1 for 3, 1 run, 3 RBIs, and he walked once. Ace was 2 for 2, scored a run and had an RBI and walked. So great, another great sweep by the Bulldogs over the Bruins. And so next week we play a tournament at Lake Point. The first game is Thursday at 4 o'clock, and it's against Cartersville. Be a very good game, that one. If you haven't seen a game all year, you need to see this one. Cartersville is in 5A. They are the 3rd ranked best team in the state over all the classes from 1A to 8A. Cartersville's ranked 3rd. They are first in their region. They have a record similar to Cedartown. I think they're like 15-3, 7-0, 8-0 in their region. They're number 1. They're rated number 1 in the state in 5A. And I mentioned Cedartown and Cartersville have a common opponent, and that was Calhoun. So Cedartown defeated Calhoun 10-0, one of the first games of the season. I think it was February the 20th. Cartersville had already played. Cartersville and Calhoun had already played on the 15th. It was a 3-game series, and Cartersville swept the series, but it was a very close game. All 3 were close. All 3 games were close. The first game was 2-1. The second game was 4-3 in 12 innings. And the third game, don't hold me to this, but it's like 5-4 or something like that. So if you wanted to read, like I said in my other video, if you want to read into something, you might want to think about it, but I wouldn't advise it. But it makes it interesting to think that Cedartown beat. I don't want to give any false promise out there. Cartersville has a great team, but I'm telling you, Cedartown has a great team too. They beat Calhoun 10-0, so I'm thinking they played Calhoun better than, or Cedartown played Calhoun better than Cartersville did. That's what I think. And I'm going to ride those coattails into next week, next Thursday, when Cedartown and Cartersville meet. I expect Coach Gavin to, put in some of the other players that haven't gotten to play much this year. But that game right there, if Cedartown can win that game, it would do a lot for the program. And I don't want to sound selfish, but and I don't think it is selfish to put your best team out there against Cartersville, because you want to see, to get better, you got to play better. Iron sharpens iron, right? So your team will get better when you play better teams. So I'm not trying to tell Coach Gavin what to do. I'm not going to do that, but. If I was the coach, I'd put my starters out there. Okay, he may not do that, but that's okay. That's just what I would do, because I'd want to see how they did, and I'd want them to get that experience against that caliber of a team. You got 2 more games you could play. Your other players, and they'll get plenty of playing time. But that game right there is a little bit different, I think. So anyway, I was going to show you. The video is right here. Andrew's probably already posted his, but I'm going to go ahead and let it roll here Y'all check out this monster blast by
But
none
it was
other than
close.
It's very
Britt
close.
Baxter.
And I believe that pitch was ball one.
See what the Weather Channel's trying to tell us.
Runners on second and third.
Told me
here.
win advisory a moment ago.
Yeah, for Smyrna. What I got? Oh,
That's a blast.
Field, way back,
Gee,
way back,
it's
and
gone. Britt
gone!
Baxter with his first home run. How about that?
It's
A
a
blast.
three-run homer for Britt Baxter.
That was a no-doubter. When it left the bat, there was no doubt about it. It was gone. And
It's 11-3.
good for Britt.
Good for
So glad
Britt.
to see that.
Oh, me too. Me too.
3-run home run for Britt Baxter. Just about, well, they have put the game out of reach pretty much here.
8-run lead for the Dogs now.
Yeah, 7 runs in this inning. And we're starting over. Ace started the inning off with a single. And he's coming up to bat now. Finally got to call a home run.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And there you have it, folks. A blast from Britt Baxter. Congratulations. Rick was ecstatic. Good times, folks. Good fun. Y'all need to soak this up because it doesn't come around very often, and just been a good season. I've really enjoyed it. So that's it. That's the Bulldog update for Friday. It's Saturday, April the 1st. Yeah, this is April Fool's Day. Did you know that? But I'm not fooling you. This really happened. So, as always, simplify and go Dogs. Sergeant Dog out. Thank you for watching, and good night.